Um, gosh, you know what? We might as well talk about more UK stuff. So there's this guy in the UK named Jeremy Corbyn. He used to be one of, like, the leader of the country for a while, and now he's not. And now he's been suspended for comments about anti-Semitism, which sounds pretty bad, right? Like when you hear, oh, a really important politician was suspended for anti-Semitism. That sounds real bad. Okay, leader of Labor. I'm sorry. Um, it was a big victory for him to be leader of Labor, though. Because I think a lot of people need to understand Jeremy Corbyn is a very big lefty in UK politics, um, and taking over the head of one of the major parties in the country, huge victory. It was a big cause to celebrate for people on the left like myself. So pretty stunning that suddenly he's come out as an anti-Semite, apparently. Um, but let's take a look at this story here. Breaking: Jeremy Corbyn suspended.
Off the back of these findings, we've got some breaking news from our political correspondent, Kate McCann. Kate, what have you got for us?
Good morning. Well, in the last few moments, the Labour Party have released a statement in which they've confirmed that they have removed the whip from Jeremy Corbyn. I can read you that statement. In light of his comments made today and his failure to retract them subsequently, the Labour Party has suspended Jeremy Corbyn pending investigation. He has also had the whip removed from the Parliamentary Labour Party. Now, that's a significant moment because it's really the most strict restriction or measure that the current Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, can take, and it comes in the wake of a statement that Jeremy Corbyn made this morning in relation to the report that we have been discussing. In that statement, Jeremy Corbyn said, "One anti-Semite is one too many, but the scale of the problem was also dramatically overstated for political reasons by our opponents, inside and outside the party, as well as by much of the media." Now, that is the specific comment that this statement and the subsequent removal of the whip from Jeremy Corbyn relates to. And in fact, he was asked in a press conference earlier today, Keir Starmer, whether he would take action after what Jeremy Corbyn said. And he stated that he would look carefully at those comments. So now we are seeing that follow-up action.
Now, I do find it funny. I do find it a bit funny here that Jeremy Corbyn says one anti-Semite is one anti-Semite too many. A clear condemnation of anti-Semitism, but also claims that he's been subject to a political smear job, which he undoubtedly has been regarding anti-Semitism in the UK and in the Labour Party. And the Labour Party, in response to that, goes, "Oh yeah, well you're suspended, and we're taking the whip from you." And I don't know, like. Okay, I might be a bit distant from UK politics. Is there a large-scale suspension or punishments being handed down in the Labour Party against people who have anti-Semitic records? Is that a thing? She was suspended for the same, like this lady or this lady? UK anti-Semitism politicians. Because largely a lot of the time when what I'm seeing in the media over here tends to be you're gonna get shit responses from that search term. Yeah. But generally what I've been seeing over here in the Americas, in the colonies, has been all of the anti-Semitic claims directed at Jeremy Corbyn. But I'm not seeing a whole lot directed at the party, but the party's claim against Corbyn is that there is a widespread anti-Semitism problem, and if that's the case, who else is getting punished for this, you know? People who have said anti-Semitic stuff are getting kicked out. Can you like whisper me like a link to that or something? Because again, I'm not super involved in UK politics, but I don't necessarily think what he said might be overstating it, that people have a specific agenda when it comes to him. Nothing is black and white in UK politics. If you want to say anti-Semitic stuff and be praised, just direct your comments at Ben Shapiro. I don't... I don't think I need to be anti-Semitic to critique Ben Shapiro. I think he's just a small-brained man who talks really fast, and people are impressed. Nothing is black and white in UK politics. So is there like an actual anti-Semitism problem? Like I see that I have a lot of Britbongers in chat. I mean, people claim there is a widespread anti-Semitism, a third of the Labour Party, but only 0.3% of Labour Party. But if you say that you're an anti-Semite, yeah. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about here, because let's see. No, this wasn't it. No, this wasn't it either. I wanted to... Oh, here we go. Here is his full statement for which he was condemned for, okay? And suspended for. Anti-Semitism is absolutely abhorrent, wrong, and responsible for some of humanity's greatest crimes. As leader of the Labour Party, I was always determined to eliminate all forms of racism and root out the cancer of anti-Semitism. I have campaigned in support of Jewish people and communities my entire life, and I will continue to do so. The EHRC's report shows that when I became Labour leader in 2015, the party's processes for handling complaints were not fit for purpose. Reform was then stalled by an obstructive party bureaucracy, but from 2018, Jenny Formby and a new NEC that supported my leadership made substantial improvements, making it much easier and swifter to remove anti-Semites. My team acted to speed up, not hinder the process. Anyone claiming there's no anti-Semitism in the Labour Party is wrong. Of course there is, as there is throughout society, and sometimes it is voiced by people who think themselves as on the left. Jewish members of our party and the wider community were right to expect us to deal with it, and I regret that it took longer to deliver that change than it should. One anti-Semite is too many, but the scale of the problem was also drastically overstated for political reasons by our opponents inside and outside the party, as well as by much of the media. That combination hurt Jewish people and must never be repeated. My sincere hope is that relations with Jewish communities can be rebuilt and those fears overcome. While I do not accept all of its findings, I trust its recommendations will be swiftly implemented to help improve on from this period. Now, I don't know about you. I've spent a good portion of my time on the internet, guys. I know what the statements of anti-Semites look like. They don't look like this. They don't look like this. Okay? And I think that when you put in additional context other than just reading one anti-Semite is one too many, but the scale of the problem was also drastically overstated for political reasons by our opponents inside and outside the party, as well as much of the media. I think if you just read that one sentence, yeah, that could definitely look bad. Sure, we can say that, But when you have the additional context of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other paragraphs, I think that you can clearly tell that there is something really weird going on, because, yeah, Jeremy Corbyn does have a history of campaigning in support of Jewish people and Jewish communities. And Jeremy Corbyn, when he did come into power as the head of the Labour Party, encountered a bureaucracy that was specifically not cooperating with him. He's not beloved within the Labour Party at all. So, like, the statement that, yeah, the bureaucracy of Labour might have gotten in the way of slowing down a lot of these reforms, well, that doesn't sound unreasonable to me at all. And then he even goes out of his way. Yeah, it was done by the people who are in charge now. Yeah, because Jeremy Corbyn, he's a lefty, and the Labour Party is largely neoliberal. It'd be like if Bernie Sanders had won the primary or something like that, you know? He would have become like the de facto head of the Democratic Party, and the Democrats fucking hate Bernie Sanders. So, like, he wouldn't have been able to get a whole lot done super fast. So basically, the people that created the anti-Semite problem are now in charge. Yeah. I mean, like, the people who are claiming that his statements are anti-Semitic are also the people who slowed down this process to protect anti-Semites in labor. So I also think that this is particularly something that resonated with me far more than anything down here. Anyone claiming there is no anti-Semitism in the Labour Party is wrong. Of course there is, as there is throughout society, and sometimes it's voiced by people who think themselves as on the left. That is an incredibly on point, criticism, observation. There are a lot of people who are on the left, or ostensibly on the left, who have a lot of big biases. There are people in the United States on the left who don't like black people that much and will advocate for policies that might disproportionately hurt black people. Biases exist all across the political spectrum, and it's really important to have processes to remove those people who are being harmful to progress. But it sounds like a 3-year process had to be undertaken to try and reform how labor deals with anti-Semites, and that took a while to do. So while the party is reforming, and Jeremy Corbyn gets blamed for the slowness of the reform, done largely by the people who now have replaced him. So I think that yeah, I don't know. This seems quite it seems like an attempted political assassination. You know, not with violence, but like with words, you know? So yeah, maybe take all of this with grains of salt, you know?